Is she being charged, sir?
He said I was driving erratically because they were chasing me down the road.
An immigration arrest here in the Queen City, seen by millions, is now at the center of a federal lawsuit. This happened back in December. Two women who are U.S. citizens say agents chased them through East Charlotte after they honked their horn to alert neighbors about Operation Charlotte's Web.
They say agents surrounded their vehicle in Plaza Midwood, smashed a window, pointed rifles at them, and then took them into custody for several hours. The women were later cited for assaulting federal agents, but those charges were eventually dismissed. Now, with support from the Southern Coalition for Social Justice, they're seeking more than $2.5 million in damages and accountability from the federal agencies involved.
I want to bring back in our chief legal analyst, Khalif Frodes. So, Khalif, when you break this down, one, how much are they shielded, the ICE agents, from what they're doing as official government duty, and what do you think the success of this lawsuit might be?
I mean, they are extremely shielded. I mean, these type of claims are hard to go forward, and so breaking that shield takes a number of things, and it's just there's a large administrative process. So my answer is kind of connected to both of those, because the hurdle to get these claims started, to make it to the finish line, is so hard, and they're protected from just these types of claims just because they're out there on the front line. You want to offer them some potential immunity. Because of that, the likelihood of success is diminished from a typical claim if it was some type of just normal tort, not against a federal agent. But I mentioned that process being high. First of all, you have to give them a 6-month time frame to investigate them as the agency. So once you put them on notice that I believe that I've been, there's some type of violation of your officers, there's that 6-month time frame. Well, if you do the math, it's about 6 months already. This happened in November. They would have given them notice. So now you have the right to file a claim. You have to bring that claim within 2 years. Okay, now they're bringing their claim and they're making their allegations that a number of things occurred. Obviously, there's some type of tort. Well, what tort are we talking about? Assault, battery, some type of false imprisonment, some type of false arrest, some type of malicious prosecution. So there's a number of torts that are listed in there. Now, can you overcome some of them? The malicious prosecution, I think, is extremely limited. But some of those other ones, we'll have to see what the 911 audio, because there was number of calls. We'll have to see what a number of the videos and potential body cam footage would show. Once we look at all of that, I think you'd have a better opportunity to know the likelihood of success, but you got to get over that high hurdle before we can even get there.
The charges were dropped against the women. Does that automatically mean that their arrest was unlawful?
No, I'd say, I won't say it automatically means it. It says that there was a lot of things happening during that time that may not have been within the process or procedure as they should have been with a typical arrest. I'd say a number of things, even with these women scenario, doesn't seem like it was within the typical process. They were arrested, charges later dropped, but then where do you ultimately take them when this is done? Well, you drop them off at a Waffle House. I mean, to me, you can't write this or make this up, but that's what happened. And so I remember being the chief magistrate when a person, an officer, was found to not have probable cause. They would bring them to the magistrate's office at the bottom of the jail, and they would go through that process. Well, if you brought a person there and they did not have probable cause, we would have to instruct them. You now have to take this person back to where you got them from, because you have no legal right to hold them and or have brought them here. In that scenario, that's probably what should have happened, not drop them off there. What I can tell you is that I don't know if it automatically means that this case is strengthened, but it definitely shows that there may have been problems with the probable cause standard when the arrest was made.
When we talk about people looking for damages, right? You talk about what harm, was caused. How do you arrive at a number like $2.5 million?
I mean, injuries, you're looking at damages. I mean, and I want to distinguish the liability for a tort, right? That duty, breach, causation. Did you have a duty? Have you breached it? That liability is separate from the damages aspect. So even if you have a big liability, like you clearly overstepped, your recovery is typically limited to the damages that you have incurred. So your damages, they point to a couple things. 10 days removed from surgery at the time of the arrest. If you've re-aggravated something from that recent surgery, were the injuries from shattering the window devastating? And then the emotional portion that we talk about a lot here. Are you having nightmares? Do you drive by law enforcement and now are you scared? And now have those manifest into some type of physical injury? If they have, yeah, you can get to that number, but you got to have the receipts. You got to be able to point to some type of injury that has occurred based on this. That's the causation part. But for their harm, you weren't injured. If you don't have any damages, you're not going to be able to get to 2.5 anything.
All right, Khalif, we have less than a minute left. What do you think happens with this? Do they settle? Does this go to trial? What do you think happens?
I think there is ultimately a trial just based on a number of things. The administration is keen on saying that these officers or I should say officials are in their capacity attempting to do their job. And so I think it would show the wrong message trying to settle something like this. But if the information is damaging, if it supports what they are claiming, settlement is the right thing to do. Just because you don't want a long drawn out trial. But I just don't think this administration is in the mode to settle these types of claims, specifically when they can fight them and drag them on. Something like this in federal court could take a number of years to be finalized.
Wow.
All right, Khalif, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.